Welcome to Tantrum House on location. I'm Kevin.
I'm Ryan.
I'm Jonah.
And I'm Will, and today we're doing our top 10 games of 2021
Guys Edition. Get ready. It's our top 10 board games of the year, 2021 Guys Edition. And just like last year, we're planning to give away some of these board games if we get 3,000 likes on our video.
Okay.
Last year was only 2,000 and we did it.
We did it.
We gave away a copy of all of our top #1 board game.
Yes, we
did.
did.
Not. So this year, we're gonna do it again.
Woo.
If we get 3,000 likes, each one of our #1 board game we're gonna give away.
Ryan, how do we do that?
Yeah, so to be entered to win, you have to subscribe. You have to like this video, comment below with, your top 10 of this past year.
Or something.
Or something. And don't forget to share this video with your friends.
Without any further ado, let's jump into our top 10 list.
What about honorable mentions, Will?
Honorable mentions. You can't
gotta
top
start
10
with
without
honorable
honorable mentions.
mentions.
What's happening here?
Okay, let's
All right,
do it.
I'm ready.
I've got
Let's go.
mine. Okay, my honorable mention for the list is The Crew Mission Deep Sea. Now, the original Crew, which was...
Hold on a second. Last year, The Crew was your #1.
I know.
And this year, it's the honorable mention?
I know, crazy, right? There's so many great games out there, and it had the same sort of mechanic. It did help the game out a lot, this new edition. I love this game, actually more. What is happening?
I don't even know.
More than the original game. So check out The Crew Mission Deep Sea.
Cartographers Heroes is my honorable mention. It's a lot like the first game, but new cards and new things you can do.
Heroes.
It is pretty awesome. You can play it by itself or with the original game. Check it out.
Yeah, my honorable mention is On the Rocks from 25th Century and Pentry Games. This game is marble drafting, where you're trying to collect marbles to make different drinks and cocktails. It's actually a really interesting, fun game.
My honorable mention goes to Trails from Keymaster Games. This is a little bit lighter, faster version of Parks. It's not really the same game. There's some other mechanics and things going on. But if you enjoy Parks, this is a nice, quick, easy one to be able to teach people. A lot of fun. Still got some of that same beautiful art as the original. Small box version.
Let's get started with our top 10 list now.
This is my number 10. It's Furnace from Arcane Wonders. This game, you're playing as Industrialist, and it really, truly is just a quick engine builder. This game plays pretty short, 20 to 45 minutes, and I really enjoyed it this year.
My number 10 is Clover from Repost Production. This is a party game that has you figuring out words as a team. Everybody can work simultaneously to write their clues and then solve the puzzles together at the same time. A ton of fun to be had as you kind of incorporate like real life personal things into the game that give you associations that are funny. You can do that if you know your group well. If you don't know your group well, it works just as well because you can use any definitions of words that you want. Super fun stuff, fun components. That's Clover.
My number 10 is 10 from AEG. I like this game because of the set collection. You're trying to push your luck, drawing cards, getting a full run of numbered cards of the same suit, and I like the math involved in it. The one reason why it is so low on my list is I don't like bidding games, and there's definitely bidding in this. Every time you draw a wild card, everybody gets to bid on it. I'm bad at that. And that's my number 10, 10 from AEG.
Mine is The Loop from Pentasaurus Games. This is a co-op game where you're completing missions. Two things I like about this game are the cube tower and the pop culture references.
Number 9. My number 9 is Squaring Circleville from Spielworks Games. This is a cube pusher Euro style game where you are basically adding your cubes to the board and pulling them off. You are building over top of this historic city, which is actually where I grew up at. This is my hometown, so I'll admit I'm probably a little biased. I grew up in Circleville, Ohio. This image is plastered all over the place. It's really fun trivia to be able to know that this is where I'm from. In the game, you are basically tearing out the old historic city and moving in the new gridified version of the game. It's got a little bit of area control going on, and you are basically trying to build the new best city and all the best buildings, and lots of fun stuff in Squaring Circleville.
Man, I was just thinking how funny it would be if they made a game based on my hometown.
Board games. They're more than a linear experience. They're a prism of endless possibility. I am your guide. Follow me and ponder the question. What? Question mark.
My number 9 is Railroad Ink Challenge. I've got Lush Green Edition here and Shining Yellow Edition. These are roll and write games where all the players at the table are using the same die that are rolled to construct their railroads and highways and so many other things. One of the reasons I love these games as my number 9 this year is because there's so much variety. You can use the kind of the regular dice that come in the box or the special dice, and you can just have hours of fun playing these two.
My number 9 is Subastral from Renegade Games. This is a very simple game, but lots of strategy going on in it. I love that all you're doing on your turn is playing a card and then basically either putting cards into your hand or taking cards and putting them in your tableau. One caveat I will say, if you ever play this game, it will take you at least one game to figure out how scoring really works, but once you understand that, awesome game, Subastral.
My number 9 is Cuphead, the fast dice rolling game from the Op. It is a cooperative game where you're rolling against a timer, trying to roll the symbols you need on different cards, and you're basically doing these cooperative boss fights from the game. It's a lot of fun, but low on my list because I'm really bad at fast dice rolling.
Number 8. Mine is Kokopelli from Queen Games. This is a deck shedding game where everyone starts with a similar deck of cards, and then they're taking actions like drawing cards and playing cards and things like that. There's cool ceremonies that basically enhance your actions, and you're playing them in the right spots at the right time to try and get rid of all the cards in your deck the fastest to get points. Kokopelli from Queen Games.
My number 8 is actually Trails. I know it was in the honorable mentions, but this is actually a really great game. I enjoy dashing back and forth, collecting the resources, and trying to complete those victory point cards.
My number 8 is Brew from Pandasaurus Games. This is a dice as worker placement game that also has some area control going in it, as well as set collection. There's a lot of different things. You flip the board halfway through, so you're actually getting different actions throughout the course of the game. There's a lot going on. It's a cute, illustration style. It's a lot of fun, and just a lot of fun to play. Brew.
And my number 8 is 10 from AEG. I really enjoyed this game. Like we've kind of mentioned earlier, it's a push your luck game with a little bit of bidding. I've had a lot of fun getting this to the table with friends and family. And that's my number 8, 10 from AEG.
Mine is The Loop from Pandasaurus Games. This is a co-op game where you're completing missions. Two things I like about this game are the cube tower and the pop culture references.
Number 7 is Red Rising from Stonemaier Games. This is a great game if you've ever played, Fantasy Realms? It's a lot like that, but there's some new aspects to it, so definitely check it out. I really think I would have put this as my number 1, but I just can't figure out how to interplay the different cards. It bothers me that I can't perfectly play the most perfect hand ever in it, and that's why it's only number 7. But definitely made my top 10 list. Red Rising, number 7.
My number 7 is Luna Capital from Devere Games. This game is a tableau building type of game, and the reason I'm going to piggyback off Ryan here, the reason it's number 7 is because there's a lot of iconography in this game, and if you're not paying attention to that, it's really hard to figure out scoring. It's really hard to figure out how to win at the end, and so it takes you just a few times before you're a pro at it, and that's why it's at number 7. But Luna Capital.
Go for it. All right.
Stepping in with number 7 for me is Maglev Metro from Bezier Games. This is a network building tile placement game that features these really cool acrylic transparent tiles. And so as you're building your metro lines, you're stacking things on top of each other, you're moving your cool cars all over the place. It just has a really great table presence and a lot of fun to just be able to figure out how to get those lines right where you want to go so you can deliver the people to pick up the things to get the right goals. Lots of fun stuff in Maglev Metro.
Mine is My Farm Shop. Don't judge a book by its cover, or in this case, a board game by its cover. It looks very like cartoony, but there is some really fun interactions going on here. The active player is rolling 3 dice, choosing one of them to get a card for their tableau. Those other 2 dice are summed together, and then everyone's activating something on their own farm shop. So I really enjoy what's going on in the game. It reminds me a little bit of Space Base from AEG, so if you've ever played that, you might like My Farm Shop from Pegasus Spiel.
Number 6. My number 6 is Seven Wonders Architect from Repro Productions, a division of Asmodee. This game, one of the reasons I love this game is because it's got all the same iconography that you know and love from the original Seven Wonders games, which makes it really easy to learn and play. This game is all about choosing the right card from kind of 3 options in front of you to reveal your wonder. It's kind of a race to do it. First one to reveal the wonder wins the game.
Mine is Bloodborne from Simon. It's just a great dungeon crawling, progressive map revealing game. I love the miniatures in this game, are just really cool. And it's a lot of fun to play. Check it out, Bloodborne.
What's coming in yet again is my number 6, 10 from AEG. As has been mentioned, a lot of fun, easy to jump into. Just exchanging those black and white tokens is like strangely addicting as you're like, you want to get those white ones, you got to get in your hand. I also really enjoyed the card art on this, lots of bright fun stuff. As you overlap the cards, you create new patterns. And that's my number 6, 10 from AEG.
My game is The Loop from What? No! This is actually my number 6, Islands in the Mist from Stronghold Games. Love the theme of the hot air balloon going around your board. The wind is changing directions and you're laying terrain tiles on your board.
Number 5. My number 5 is Merchant's Cove from Final Frontier Games. This is an asymmetrical game where everybody is playing totally different roles, different boards, different mechanics throughout the course of the game. However, they're all interacting with the same merchants in the cove, trying to sell them the goods that they've put together. A lot of fun stuff going on. The instruction manuals for this are amazing. It's really easy, which makes it really easy to be able to jump into, grab your board that you're going to play with. Lots of replayability because there's so many different characters in one box.
Mine is The Night Cage from Smirk and Laughter, Smirk and Dagger. This is a co-op game where players are working together to find keys and to all push their key into the gate and unlock it to escape the Night Cage. I love how the tiles are appearing and disappearing throughout the game and just how the monsters are coming after you and trying to escape them. I just love everything that's going on in The Night Cage.
The 7th one I'm going to talk about, my number 5, is Seven Wonders Architects. You may remember it from when Jonah talked about it. I really like this game a lot. I feel like I just want a little bit more to it. But if that's kind of the point. If I was going to put any more depth in it, maybe I would just play Seven Wonders. But it's a really great game. You should check it out. My number 5.
And my number 5 is Red Rising from Stonemaier Games. And like Ryan said, you might remember that from when Ryan talked about it. But I really appreciated this game. I thought that it was really fun trying to get the best hand you can get and manage the cards. And there's a couple other things that get you points in the game. The only thing that I didn't love about the game is I didn't think it had the replayability to go for a few years. But as I say that, I've played it a good number of times and I'm still having fun, so number 5.
Number 4. My number 4 is from Grey Fox Games. After the Empire, you are rebuilding a small kingdom after the Empire has fallen apart, and I really enjoy just the aspects of building the actual castle itself. There are little palisade and stone wall pieces that all fit together, and towers and stuff. It's just really fun, and then trying to withstand the might of the raiders that are coming to try to destroy your little kingdom. So my number 4, After the Empire.
Mine is Praga, Caput, Regni. I'm just gonna call Praga from Delicious Games. This has got lots of stuff going on in this game. Probably one of the heavier games on my list. If you're a fan of the medium plus, medium heavy games, I would recommend Praga. There's some action selection going on, there's tile laying, there's some comboing going on, going up different tracks, lots and lots of stuff going on in Praga. Totally recommend it. My number 4.
My number 4 is Cape May from Thunderworks Games. This is a brand new one. I'm actually kind of falling in love with it. It's super beautiful table presence. You're in the shoreside city of Cape May. You are building different types of houses, and then you're adding to those houses and upgrading them throughout the course of the game. You've got a little bit of a rondelle thing that kind of tells you where you're at in the game, tracking your progress. You've got different events that come out each round. It's really just a beautiful, beautiful game on the table. Lots of fun to play, really smooth mechanics. Cape May.
And my number 4 is Terraforming Mars, the Ares expansion. This is the Terraforming Mars that you know and love, just streamlined, much faster in a card game. Do I have to say more?
Number 3. Mine is Origins First Builders from Board and Dice. Now, I'm a big fan of dice worker placement games, and this is one of those games where you are sort of placing your dice around different parts of the board, doing different actions, getting resources. There's these cool motherships that are basically moving up and down the different values of the dice, and you are also building in your little area with some tiles. Lots of awesome things going on in Origins First Builders, but the reason I like it is the dice worker placement mechanic.
My number 3 is another Antoine Baza game, and it's called Oltree. Sometimes we call it Oltree because it's a little hard to pronounce, but apparently it's the battle cry that these rangers, knights of the fallen empire, call out as they go upon their journeys. So you are working cooperatively to try to rebuild fortresses across the empire and reinforce the communities there. There's just lots of fun story cards. I kind of want to just take all of the great story elements that they took out, because there's just a lot of like choose your own adventure type story prompts in the game. I want to take those all out and apply them to the RPGs I play, because they're just really great, well done story elements to this game. Check it out, Oltree.
And my number 3 is from Stonemaier Games. This is Rolling Realms. This is a roll and write game that actually represents every game Stonemaier's put out so far, I believe. Each game is its own card and scores differently, and it's a quick game. Plays in about 30 minutes, but 3 rounds in it, and you can use a lot of the different combinations of cards, and I really appreciated that. So, Rolling Realms, my number 3.
My number 3 is Gutenburg from Grana Games. In the game, you are working on your printing press, trying to upgrade and improve all the components and pieces so that you can print more and better than everybody else. You'll be collecting really cool little wood type pieces, which are super neat. Love the components in the game. You're collecting ink colors as well, and you're basically playing through several rounds which run very smoothly, trying to optimize what you're able to put together and achieve. Really enjoyed Gutenberg.
Number 2. My number 2, it's back. Gutenberg from Grana Games. I am a sucker for a good strategy-heavy programming, action selection type game with a bunch of end-game bonuses. This game did it for me. I really enjoyed it. It's gotta be number 2.
So my number 2 is Overboss. It is a tile drafting, tile placement game. It's not overly complicated, but it kind of hits that sweet spot where it's not too simple either. I just really enjoyed it. Overboss from Brotherwise Games. Check it out.
Mine is Adventures of Robin Hood. This is from Cosmos. If you like campaign games, storytelling games, cooperative games, check out The Adventures of Robin Hood. It's got all of that, plus an amazing theme, Robin Hood, and you heard it here first, there's some expansion content coming in 2022.
Oh, secret info! Coming in for number 2 for me is Dune Imperium. This is a deck building, a little bit of area control, set collection, resource management game. Has all kinds of stuff going on in it. I had the opportunity to play the game before I saw the movie, and I enjoyed it. Then I saw the movie, and then I enjoyed it even more afterwards. Great implementation of theme. Really, really fun deck building game that has a lot of extra stuff going on.
Number 1! My number 1 is Role Player Adventures. This is just an awesome game. I enjoy it so much. We've had it for quite a while, but just the prototype finally came out this year. There's so much cool about this game. I've actually sat through the first couple scenarios 3 or 4 times now, but I enjoy it every time. I love the card hands that you have, that you can manipulate your dice to try to accomplish the various things you need to do in the game when you are presented with the different skill challenges and combat challenges. And just by itself, it's an awesome game, but what I really, really like is that it also plays into, it ties into that original role player game. So the things you did in role player, in creating your character, they can then flow into your character in Role Player Adventures. I think that is really cool. Role Player Adventures, my number 1.
My number 1 is Maglev Metro! This is from Bezier Games. I love all the things that are going on in this game. Route building, it's got the translucent tiles, it's got the engine building as you're trying to build up your own engine on your player board. The little cars are cool with the steel bottoms. Love all the components that are in the game. And you heard it here first again, there's some new maps coming next year, 2022. Woo!
Alright, my number 1 is... Get out of here!
Hey, guys, this is just a game.
It's a game. Coming in at number 1 for both Jonah and I is Hadrian's Wall.
Oh yeah, so good.
Man.
This is a roll and write game again, but the reason I love this one so much, there is so much going on. Now it looks overwhelming at first, but after you play it once, halfway through, you're like, oh, I got this.
Or maybe 3 times.
Oh yeah, or maybe 3 times.
It's meaty. This is definitely a thinky, you're moving lots of pieces, you're drawing on lots of pieces of paper, you're wishing you had done other things earlier in the game, you're just optimizing all over the place. Played it a dozen times and I still have not really figured out exactly what I think the best strategy is.
I'm not sure if there is one.
There has to be.
I don't know. This is one of those games where you play it through one time and you go, I gotta play it again because I know what I did wrong.
right? I can definitely do better.
And then I can do so much better, but then the next time you play it, that's the same thing you're thinking.
Right, and then they attack your wall on the other side, you weren't ready for them, crazy
Stinks.
stuff. That is Hadrian's Wall.
All right, so that's their number 1. This is Ryan's number 1. This is my number 1. That means you could win one of these games if you like. Make sure you're subscribed, make sure you comment, make sure you share, do all the cool things, because you could be entered for a chance to win one of these 3 games. This is great. 3,000 likes, get us there.
Yeah, and let us know in the comments whether we won or the girls won.
Ooh. They are coming out. The girls' video is coming out next week.
Are you ready for it? One more shout out to our friendly local game store here in Greer, South Carolina. Not Just Gaming. Thank you guys for letting us use the space. Also, everybody at home, just a little FYI, if you go back and watch the B-roll for That's So Clover, if you can solve the puzzle and put the answers in the chat, it's another great way for you to get a chance to win.
Or just So Clover.
That's just so clever.
Guys, video 2021. It's our best
video ever.
Yeah, I think I looked over what we're doing. Nope, they're not doing it.
Guys, this shit. All right, ready. One more time.
And now it's ready.
It is ready.
My number 9 game is Circleville. Circleville. Can't even pronounce my hometown.
Is it Square Enix?
Sure is.
Can't say any of the things correct.